Okay, exercise when you're in your 20s, it's really important when you're in this sort of age frame or age group that you want to build like excellent movement patterns and lots of different things. Like one of the problems I see with people when they come to see us and they're a bit older is they haven't played sports and they haven't got good hand-eye coordination and they don't have really good movement skills. Possibly they didn't work on any strength sort of stuff in their 20s, and now it's a lot harder when they're in their 40s, 50s or 60s to do that. So if I was to give you a really good some advice for when you're in your 20s, take up some sort of ball sport or something that requires good hand-eye coordination and lots of movements, lots of skills, things that require balance, agility, plus strength, plus speed, all the things that you're probably not very good at, because when you work on it then that's when you learn it and you become really good. And it sets you up for later in life. So the people who do those things usually have a lot less injuries and they can do a lot of the things they want to do later in life much more easily than the people who have not. Now, when you're in your 30s, it's highly likely that most people that we see would have high pressure jobs, working long hours, lots of computer work, possibly childbirth for female clients. So that changes like the perspective on what you should be focusing on. Real big focus should be on weight training. Really trying to reduce the stress in your body as well. So working on things like posture, and if most people are probably getting pregnancy, late 20s, early 30s. So core stabilization is critical, because if you don't do it, you're going to suffer all sorts of back pain, and neck pain problems comes about after you have lower back pain, plus lower leg injuries. Soft tissue problems in the ankles and that. So you can see like in the 30s, because the high stress of either pregnancy or lifestyle pressures, you could have little kids running around, or just your job itself, it means that you can't do the sort of high impact, high sort of intensity training that you would have done in your 20s. You really need to have a focus of reducing the stress and building and maintaining muscle mass, because you're slowly going to be on the decline stage. Now, once you hit your 40s, now you really need a bigger focus more than ever on your weight training. Possibly the stress is still a problem as it was in the past. Flexibility, we start to see become a problem. So addition of yoga classes, Tai Chi classes, our stretching programs are really high importance here. Plus hormonal changes, that really adds another dimension to the stress, and unwanted fat gain will come about from too much stress, not usually from lack of exercise, usually poor food and too much stress, and then a bad exercise choice on top of that really just exacerbates your problem. So weight training will be a critical factor when you're in your 40s, because if you don't start trying to prevent the muscle loss now, when you're in your 50s you'll have all sorts of problems. And besides the fact of the way you look, muscle also controls glucose, blood pressure, all the other sort of factors that become a problem that we see with people in their 50s. So that would be my advice for working through what to choose in your 20s, 30s and 40s. So summary, 20s, a lot of all sports and movements. 30s, reducing your stress, working on your posture and starting to become weight training focus. And then in your 40s, really make weight training a huge focus and working on flexibility.